It's Wednesday, November 9th, 2011. I'm Rim, and this is Geeknights. Tonight, the Redline.
Let's do this.
So if I had to summarize Redline in a sentence, I would say
Hyped by everybody.
I would say this is the story of a planet called Robo World that is administered by the most incompetent people in the universe.
So,
like, Robo World fucking up is the real theme of Redline.
yeah, it's pretty much all there is to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing what goes on. The story of Redline is so much more insane.
Well, it's
than
not.
I
The
thought
thing
it
is,
was going to
Redline
be.
really isn't about the story of Redline, right? It's like the story is just an excuse for the
Oh no,
movie
but I'm
to
saying
exist.
here's what I expected: crazy, like, animation machine, wacky races, awesome, let's go craziness. I did not also expect the military of Robo World trying to stop the race and being so incompetent.
Yeah. So for people who don't know, right, there was this movie called Redline that has been hyped. It's sort of like,
Well, hyped, it's been ignored by most of the media.
Well, it's weird, right? Because the fans have been like crazy about it, but everyone else is like it's non-existent, which is why the fans are crazy about it. It's sort of like the hipster thing, right? It's this cool thing no one knows about. We got to make everyone know about it. And basically, they spent $1 zillion animating it and tons of time and everything. But it's like, how come they didn't actually push it harder?
And the worst thing is,
so it's up to us fans to push it.
This is the kind of movie where if you just took this fucking thing and put it on TV at prime time sometime, just market it like, check this thing out, people would like it for the same reasons they liked Akira back in the day. I mean, yes, a lot of people.
It's not as good as Akira.
No, but I'm saying a lot of people who aren't anime fans and wouldn't even really know much about what anime is saw Akira in the theater and thought it was really cool.
Yeah, but anyway.
Or saw Ghost in the Shell in the theater and thought it was really
We've
cool.
talked about this a zillion times, all these things like how come they don't market the anime to the normal people?
Yeah.
Anime movies come around so rarely.
But this
so
is
you
such
should
a
see them
poster
all.
child of it that is a recent example.
Yes. But it's kind of weird because I feel like I've been preaching that story of anime movies come around so rarely you should watch them all kind of often, as in, like, are anime movies coming around more often lately? Or are we just doing more shows about them?
We pretty much watch every anime movie that comes out.
Yeah,
so.
and this one is no exception.
Well, everyone that isn't a sequel to One Piece or
Right.
Naruto.
Or Pokemon.
Or Pokemon. Though we did watch, I've only ever seen one Pokemon movie, and that was the
third
one
one.
with Mommy.
Yeah, the third one.
I am Daddy. You
Yeah.
are now Mommy.
But I echo the sentiments of all the other anime fans, people who are like, yeah, Redline's the shit, you got to see this.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, don't even listen to our review. Just go watch it.
You can listen to the review.
Yeah, but go watch it, because I'm going to spoil some stuff toward the end, though.
But it's been scientifically demonstrated spoilers actually increase enjoyment.
However, that's one study.
I agree with it.
That doesn't in any way impact the legitimacy of the study. You have to repeat studies to prove things.
I trust it.
Okay,
Anyway,
Captain Bias.
yeah.
Anyway, you should just watch the movie without even thinking about it, because if you're an anime fan, even if you end up hating this movie, you can't call yourself an anime fan if you don't watch one of the more important or bigger budget movies in the medium of your fandom that has come out in recent memory.
Yeah.
Also, this movie is pretty beautiful. It harkens back to the old era of extremely detailed, like, background characters doing wacky stuff and machines.
Yeah, they definitely put the number one thing about this movie is the animations, right, and the arts. They put 100% effort to it and got 100% quality.
And not just
out.
the foreground. A lot of great looking shows today. You look in the background, there's really nothing going on. But you look at old anime, especially a lot of the old cell animated stuff. Some guy's working on like one bit of the machinery, or like one background guy. He's got to animate it a little bit. And they put a lot of detail into
Except
things
when
that,
you go to really old anime where it's just a still, panning over the still shot.
Yeah, there's an ebb and flow.
Right.
But this has that. Like in these huge crowd scenes during the races, every individual dude in the background's got something going on.
Yep. So yeah, it's the thing that really gets you is the colors, right? Because the colors are just, they're a lot like the colors in that Justice League comic that Justice League #1 that recently came out.
Yeah.
Where everything is just really bright and all sorts of like, sort of like neonish colors, but like darker neon. And they have like this really great contrast that is just like eye candy all the time. And there's plenty of scenes where like, it's not super deformed, but like there's all sorts of like cartoon deformities, of the Looney Tunes style, like people stretching out when they go really fast in the cars or all kinds of stuff like that, but without changing the style. It's not like they change it into a cartoony style to do cartoony stuff. They like keep it in that style, and it's like, whoa, look at that. That's crazy. So awesome.
It is pretty crazy. It's
Mm-hmm.
I cannot stress this enough. Watch this movie. But
Yeah.
the story of Redline is pretty straightforward on its surface. There is the yellow line, which is one of many F-Zero style,
It's not
anything goes,
basically-
crazy races.
Yeah, yellow line is basically F3000, and red line is F1 or F0.
I mean, in this case, yellow line was a qualifier
I really
for
got.
Redline.
I think I'm gonna go play a GameCube F0 because it really just.
that was the best F-Zero.
I've gotten in the mood big time.
But so at Redline is like the race. Like imagine if the Super Bowl and the World Series and the Stanley Cup and every F1 race were all combined into one single winner-take-all event.
Yeah, the Super Bowl of racing, and not only that, but there's no rules, right? Except get to the end first.
Yeah, anything goes. You can just kill all the other racers if you really want
And
to.
there's only like 8 racers in it, which is kind of weird.
Well, the thing
I mean,
is,
F1 has like 20.
it is partly implied that people dropped out because they didn't want
Well,
to
no,
die.
there were 8 people in it originally,
And
but
2 dropped out.
dropped out because the plot happened, which is the Red Line people decided that the race this year was going to be held on Robo World.
Now, to put this into an analogy to the real world, that would be as though we had an F1 race that was blatantly anti-Korea. Like if the race enraged Korean people culturally,
Like if
and we decided that we were going to host it in North Korea in their capital against their wishes.
Well, it's like, the Red Line is like governed by some, the Red Line or racing organization.
And they're like,
that
yes,
is-
let's put it in Robo
which is
World.
not
They
which-
fucking hate
yeah,
race cars.
It's like not under the purview of any government whatsoever. It's like this independent thing, like the Galaxy Railways is its own thing. So it's like, I guess, FIFA, right? So FIFA's its own thing. It governs soccer. So FIFA was like, yeah, we're putting the World Cup in Rim's bathroom. Yep, that's where it's
Yeah,
going.
but
And
like
Rim
I
has
said,
no Rim
literally,
has no say in it.
They're like, it's going to be in Robo World. And then the movie
Rim
cuts to...
Rim gets home one day and like Pele's in his bathroom kicking a soccer ball in
They
the
announce
shower.
it's in Robo World, and then it cuts to the high government of Robo World, and the president is like, "What the fuck? I'm gonna kill all of them. Fuck racing. This sucks."
Yeah, he's like, when you show up, I'm going to send the military of Robo World to kill the people in your race.
So basically, the course of the movie.
Wow, if you take the other meaning of the word race, you could say Robo World was genociding because he was killing an entire race. Anyway,
That was terrible.
it was terrible.
But I don't want to really like spoil a lot, but basically the Robo World military and like government apparatus are going to stop this race.
Well, the first
which
reason
is
is like.
which is happening illegally.
Well, the reason is like, why does Robo World even want to stop the race? Wouldn't a race usually boost your economy?
Well, like
it's-
I said, let's go back to the North Korea analogy. So not only is the race like in the center of the capital of North Korea, but the finish line is on top of their most secret military base.
Right. So basically,
for the fuck of it.
Robo World is just really afraid of their military secrets on their planet being shown to the world.
They also
on
hate.
galaxy-wide television.
They also appear to hate races and hate people.
Right. So, there's a leader of Robo World, and he's got 2 assistants. One, what's his name?
Oh, Colonel Voltan,
Right.
who is
Colonel Voltan's basically sort of like the badass, like quiet, powerful evil dude. And
he's
then
kind of hilarious.
there's the other, like, Kefka kind of evil dude.
I thought that guy was gonna be a square boss, but it turns out he just doesn't give a shit. He's just like whatever.
He's just a crazy killer.
But he keeps coming down. Like he'll be like the president's like, "I'm the hyper disintegrator," and the guy's like, "Okay."
He's like, oh, yeah.
Hyper disintegrator didn't work. What? It was broken by the racers. Like he just doesn't
we can
care.
use the disintegrator again now.
He's the most.
Sweet.
He's the second most unflappable guy in the world.
Yeah.
Second only to Machine Head.
Machine Head's the best.
Machine Head is my favorite character.
Machine Head's my favorite.
because of all
No
the
one beats
racers,
Machine Head.
apparently Machine Head has won the last 7 red lines.
Yeah, he's basically
He's a
like
giant-
the Tiger Woods, Roger Federer, Michael Jordan. Of Michael,
But he's a giant
Michael
robot.
Schumacher.
He is his car. He races. He's like, you drive a car. I fucking am a car.
That's right.
I can't lose.
A Machine Head. And the thing that I liked about Machine Head, right, was that even though he's basically Michael Schumacher, right? And even though he's like the guy that the real main character has to beat in the race.
In any other movie, he would have been the bad guy.
Exactly. And like if he normally would have been the evil team, like in Mighty Ducks or Shaolin Soccer. But he wasn't. He was actually an okay guy. It's just he was also the best racer in the galaxy.
There's this great scene where someone's giving him shit, and he's like some guy stands in his way in a restaurant, and Machine Head looks at him and is like, "You'd better move, or I'll be forced to walk around you."
Yeah, and it's like what's even better is the visual, like what Machine Head looks like.
Oh my god!
Is a giant. He looks like a giant guy. He's gigantic. He's gonna be the bad guy, but actually he's not a bad guy. There's a scene where like he's petting a dog.
He has a really cute dog.
Yeah, it's like
he also has a theme song that's just Machine Head.
That just makes me really like him because it's like if he was the evil team, I would have been like, oh, evil team, boo.
And this is where this movie, I think, extends beyond what I would call a typical movie or an anime or whatever.
Yeah, it's what separates it from Hanna-Barbera's Wacky Races.
It's that it threw me for a loop a bunch of times that I saw something happen. I said, and Scott and I were like, oh, duh, now X is going to happen as a result of this. And about half the time, something so unexpected happened.
Well, it was weird, like, because I could predict 5 seconds in the future, right? Like, they were early in the movie, I was like, oh, that's that. And then literally, as soon as I finished talking, they said what I said.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, shit. But then, I couldn't predict the long run. I was like, well, here's the possibilities for the long run. They win, they lose, they crash. It was like every possibility. So I had no idea where it was going long term. I could only predict like 5 seconds out, which is pretty good.
But it threw me for a loop so many times, and the things that threw me for a loop, because it had a really cut-together style. Like, on one hand, it's following the kind of main character plot, and then on another hand, like a second angle, is following the government of Robo-World incompetently trying to stop this race with its entire planetary military might. And then the third angle is just, like, interviews and news clips and character profiles and just kind of
it's showing you like 2 different worlds. You're learning about it's like almost 3 different worlds. It's showing you an exploration of the world of this galaxy, this civilization. Also, the world of Robo World, what's it like, and what the community of racing fans and racing participants of Redline and Yellow Line are like. So it's like, it really fills in every possible gap in the movie. But in the end, all of this plot really doesn't matter.
Which is great.
All this plot is an excuse to have insanely, awesomely animated action scenes.
Oh,
right?
the crazy guy. I think he's Secretary of Defense Titan.
Right. And I think the Robo World trying to destroy the race is the ultimate excuse, because what you can do is you can alternate between scenes of racing action and scenes of exploding military fighting action, and both at the same time. So
That's
it's like
the climax of the movie is just this gigantic running battle race.
Yeah, it's like there is no short. It's like if you could go to normal, like a mecha show, it's all fighting, or like a racing show will be all racing, But by combining the two, you're basically like doubling down on the insane things that can happen, and then they push it all the way to the limit, literally, with what's the star speckled whatever the
Streamlight.
Streamlight, yeah. They push it to the limit with the Streamlight.
But there's so many just great iconic scenes. Like the Robo World police keep like busting in on like people, because a bunch of people in Robo World want to bet on the race because they think it's awesome, and the police bust in. And the police basically just fucking murder everybody.
The police robots are just sort of
police
like...
bots like, this little cute police bot's like, please disperse, and then it starts firing missiles.
Yeah, it's great.
And like the race, the Yellow Line race, I love the culture of racing, because if you ever see a real rally, like a real U.S. or world, like Earth
there aren't
rally.
really any U.S. rallies.
There are some rallies
in
in the U.S. Anyway, an Earth rally in the real world today, 2011. People will stand as close to the most dangerous corners as they can, as packed in as tightly as they can.
And when the car is on its way, they'll run out into the road and watch the car come at them. Then when the car is about to hit them, they'll run out of the way and go back to watch the car go around the corner. Then they'll run out onto the track and watch and follow the car so that they can see it leave.
So
see the car as much as possible.
The culture of racing in Redline is the same way, except that thousands die at every corner every time anyone comes by.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like because it's animated, they're like, we can just do all sorts of ridiculous shit. People dying all over the place. Cars exploding, whatever the fuck. They didn't give a shit. right?
So the plot
Laws of physics be damned too.
aside from Robo World being amazingly incompetent
There's
and
a love story.
and surprisingly evil, is that we've got the main guy JP, who has an intergalactic pompadour.
It is
a pompadour to be
It is not.
feared.
It is not as feared as the one in Kamikaze Girls.
So the thing is, and I think this is actually my favorite thing in the movie because it only comes up twice.
Mm-hmm.
JP is driven by two things in his life. One, he met a girl when he was young and into cars.
It was totally hot.
Who's totally hot, and he just really likes her and he really likes racing.
Yep.
Two, he saw who I can only guess is the god of pimps.
Oh, right. The God of Pimps.
There's this scene in the beginning. It's a flashback.
You forget about it because it's like
It's twice in the whole movie.
basically the God of Pimps is like in
It's
one
Akio.
it's like in One Piece, this red-haired Shanks. That's right. It's like the guy that Luffy's always thinking about, like what would red-haired Shanks do, right? The God of Pimps he's the God of Pimps.
But so in the beginning of the movie, you get this flashback
In fact,
to JP.
you know what? I've upgraded him above Machine Head, best character in the movie. Machine Head's number 2.
But you basically see this guy who is Akio times 10. Akio would blow his load even looking at this
They
guy.
definitely, I guarantee 100%, I'll bet money that they were inspired slightly by Akio when making the God of Pimps.
There
Because
is
he
no
does
way.
the same car flip into the convertible that
There
Akio
is
does.
no way this is not the case. But Black Dynamite could learn a lot from the God of Pimps.
And for
This
Black
guy-
Dynamite to be able to learn something from somebody,
This
that's a smart
flashback,
guy.
as JP, a young JP, looks on, this guy flips over into his amazing car and kisses 2 women simultaneously. And you might think, what do you mean? How? You'll see. He kisses 2 women simultaneously and drives off into the sunset. You see the God of Pimps one more time in the movie, and I will not spoil it. What happens in that scene is great. It is the greatest part of this movie.
It's definitely the number 1 part of the entire movie.
You will know it when it happens because it is
But
so
the
great.
number 2 part of the movie is when the dude rescues the dude who's going to get killed.
Oh my God, because that comes out of nowhere.
That is a big O scenario.
Yep, it's like, why don't they they just did. Oh, times 10. Oh, and then one other twist happened when he hits the button on the
Right.
thing.
That's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this movie, you know, it's basically just so many awesome parts, right? It's just awesome part after awesome part after awesome part with awesome animation. But I don't really remember any music from it. Do you?
The credits theme, because
Oh, right. There's
I
that
really
song.
like the song from the credits. And
It was okay
two,
song.
that song, see, when I first heard about Redline, I didn't hear anything about it. Someone sent me a link, and it was a trailer for Redline.
And it had that song.
And it had that song, and that trailer amazed me.
Yep.
But I was trying to keep my expectations low, even though the trailer filled me with a surprising desire. Like, we're talking like 0.45 ponies worth of anticipation.
Yep.
And the fact that the movie lived up to that feeling really surprised me.
But while it is just this crazy awesome thing,
But what are
It
you going to
is-
say?
well,
What-
it's not like a life-changing movie.
No,
It
well,
has
'cause-
no depth or
Well, no, there is depth, but
Slight.
it's not deep to a degree that it's no Shakespeare.
no,
The story
not-
itself
it's not
is
even
fairly
it's not even a
simple.
shake.
Guy likes girl and also wants to be like the God of Pimps, so he pursues that.
And he gets into racing, and then racing
He's actually a
happens.
really nice guy. Like, I
Yeah,
like him.
And also Robo World and
yeah,
Machine
the
Head
government of Robo
and
World,
King of Pimps.
the evil of the government of Robo World is eclipsed only by its incompetence.
That's right. And that's pretty much all there is to
I
it.
think by the end of the movie, the entire military of Robo World as a planetary system is gone.
Yeah, destroyed by the race and itself. But basically, I would recommend this, right? This is basically in the same category as, like, you know, the Lupin movies that aren't the Castle of Cagliostro, right? You bust
Like
this
a Mamo.
well, not like Mamo.
No, Mamo's okay.
Or like Fuma Conspiracy.
What
right?
about Columbus Egg?
Sure, Columbus Egg, a gold. What is it? Gold Babylon's
Babylon Gold? No, it's not like Babylon Gold.
But you bust. It's not. I'm not talking about the level of quality. I'm saying is in the category, right? You bust this movie out at the party when everyone's over. You watch it and you go, woo!
This is the
holy
movie you
shit!"
show to the people who are drunk at a party who are like, fuck that anime,
Right.
whatever.
But you can't put it on like your IMDb top 250 because it's not.
250, I think I might be able to.
I don't know. It's not
100, no. 250, maybe.
because it's not that kind, right? This is the kind. it's not the kind of thing you can watch or have any strong, it's just like the funnest fun. That's all there is to it. It's just fun straight up. It's like eating, it's like this, right? You might get some gummy bears and you eat the gummy bears and you're like, oh shit, it's the best, right? But it's not French cuisine. You can't rate gummy bears like if there's like a restaurant that served gummy bears, you wouldn't put them on the list of best restaurants.
What if they were the best gummy bears?
I'm just saying these are the best gummy bears, but they're still gummy bears. It's like you're not gonna put fucking just a chocolate bar.
There's so many little touches though, like the money changer.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
Or the scared guy selling cigarettes.
Well, that's part of the culture of the world part, just same with the restaurant scene.
Or like the little things like the fact that JP gets a motorcycle and he sits down on it and they give you this POV.
The motorcycle's pretty great.
They give you this POV from him and you realize that
he can't see anything.
Yeah, he can't actually see over the engine.
Yeah.
Or Frisbee, when Frisbee's like, yeah, you want to win the race? I got something for you. And he unveils the car, and he's basically put an anti-tank cannon on it.
It was an extra wheel in the front.
Yeah, the fifth wheel.
Yeah. But it's just, it's that kind of thing, right? It's just a huge have a good time party, but the brow is low. But it's like the highest quality. I wouldn't say it's low brow. I would say it's middle brow.
Expect a good time.
It's like the best middle brow there is.
This is the first movie in a while where I expected a roller coaster and I got a roller coaster.
It's like, the brow has to go separate from the regular old quality score, right? So it's like of middle brow, 10 out of 10. But highbrow, well, it's not highbrow, so it doesn't rank. It's like it's like NA, not applicable when judging the highbrow.
Also, Madhouse, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong. Well, you can. But you won't with this one.
This has been Geeknights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for the opening music, Kat Lee for web design, and Brando K for the logos.
Be sure to visit our website at frontrowcrew.com for show notes, discussion, news, and more.
Remember, Geeknights is not one, but 4 different shows. Sci-Tech Mondays, Gaming Tuesdays, Anime Comic Wednesdays, and Indiscriminate Thursdays.
Geeknights is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Geeknights is recorded live with no studio and no audience. But unlike those other late shows, it's actually recorded at night.